I am running behind this morning. Good morning, everybody. I was making my coffee and I came in here real quick and I grabbed my guitar and I was like, you know what? I don't even have a theme song for this show yet. Good morning, everybody. Everyone's having a great Friday. TGIF. It is Friday morning. And you know what? If you're in Houston, it feels like fall this morning. We've got Duke hanging out in the background. What's up, Duke? How are y'all doing this morning? Get a little tune on. My guitar's not going to tune. Anyway, that's not going to work for me. Of course, when I'm trying to do this when I'm live streaming right now, it's not going to work. I see you find an E. How's everybody doing this morning? If you find the E and I can find everything else, come on. This cheap tuner is terrible. Hello, Terry. What's going on? Nope, not gonna work this morning. Oh my God, nothing's gonna work for me this morning. I got this feeling. I woke up in a really good mood, and I've got this feeling that nothing is gonna work out the way I want it to today. But it's totally okay because it's Friday. I don't have to work today, and it's gonna be a good day. Hope everyone's having a great morning so far. As I stated earlier, I woke up a little late this morning. I stayed late last night and I was editing video. I don't have my headphones on because I don't need to hear anybody. But if you're in the chat, drop any questions or comments down below. We're live on Facebook and YouTube. I was just gonna jam for a little bit, but I don't think that's gonna happen. I was feeling it this morning. Hope everyone's having a great Friday, man. It's been a week. It has been a long week. And hopefully the weekend doesn't go by too fast. Got a lot going on this weekend around the house, trying to get a bunch of projects done. I'm going to be go visiting a new nursery this morning over here in the Alvin area. Did I miss a button? I don't know. I woke up and I threw a shirt on. But I'm going to be going over to Alvin to a new nursery called Green Star Wetland Nursery. I met the owner. I've known about the place since my friend Cassie told me about it. They sell like native wetland like marshmallows and like native water plants, and then they also sell a lot. I think they either sell or donate a lot of them back to like native habitats. I'm gonna find out more information, but I'm going to do a tour over there this morning, do some videos. And then after that, I'm going to drive to Porter to Heirloom Soils to go pick up a bunch of soil for Figtoberfest. And then I'll drive to Angleton to the ag office and drop that off. So I just described my entire day right there. And then in the backyard stuff this evening or tomorrow morning, I'm hoping to actually get over there, and I've got an area in the side of my yard. Most of y'all have probably seen it in my videos or pictures or whatever, that I've got 2 raised beds and then my trellis, and it's got, edging and rock and everything. Well, the edging that I used was that cheap plastic edging that you get from like Home Depot or Walmart or wherever, and it's super flimsy and it's allowing all the pea gravel to come over on the side. So I hooked up with a company called Edge Right, and they sent me a bunch of metal, like the metal edging, to do that one, redo that one right. And then I'm planning on doing the first buffer. I've been reaching out to StreamYards, and they've helped me absolutely with absolutely nothing about that. I've tried everything I can to get that to stop. But I don't know. And on the other side of my yard, so that it'll be almost symmetrical, I'm going to do that side of the yard the exact same way. And I've got the metal edging. I'm going to put a Vigo bed over there. I've got my roses in pots over there. I'm going to redo that whole bed. I did that originally with the cheap weed fabric that you get like at Walmart or Home Depot. And it's just allowing way too many weeds to come up through it. It's allowing weeds through. The thing about doing like any kind of patio or flower bed with weed fabric is that most weed fabrics will hold up for a while. But when you have stuff like sedge, it doesn't matter if you put weed fabric down, because whenever you weed eat or mow, it's going to throw seeds on top, and the sedge will actually grow from the top and through the weed fabric. I mean, the good thing about the sedge is that it's easy to pull. They do have some stuff called like sedge hammer and some other stuff that you can spray, and they're pretty expensive. If I'm being honest, they're kind of expensive. The thing that I usually do is I will usually hit them with the flame weeder. I'll go through and I'll pull as much as I can by hand, and then I'll pull it with or then I'll go hit it with the flame weeder, the propane, pear burner, and that'll usually last about 2 or 3 months. But right now it looks real bad, so I'm gonna pull that gravel up. It's the big river rock. I'm gonna pull that gravel up on that side. I'm gonna leave the fabric down, but then I'm gonna go back over it and all the way flush with my back porch, and do the entire area right there with that weed fabric, with the edging. We'll come back and we're gonna do decomposed granite and then some gravel on top. So it's gonna look really, really nice. So I don't know if I'm gonna get all that done this weekend. I kind of doubt it, but we're gonna try. And I just don't know if the weather's gonna cooperate. I don't know if it's gonna be too hot. It's just, I'm gonna see if I can get some stuff done. I got a million other things doing, and I'm gonna film the whole thing. I will film the entire project. That's the time consuming part of all this, is that I'm doing the same projects other people do, but when you're trying to film it, it takes 2-3 times as long sometimes, especially if someone's not filming you do it, So, yeah. And I'm not a professional landscaper by any means. I keep getting DMs and stuff, people asking me like, "Hey, can you come man, can you come and do a landscape project? Can you just come to my house and show me like what to plant here?" I was like, "Man, I would love to, but I am not a landscape professional. There are people with full-time jobs and companies that do that. I have a full-time job and another full-time job doing this stuff. I barely have enough time to plant my own stuff, let alone come plant someone else's stuff. So it's really hard to make the time. Maybe at some point, I'll find, the availability to do something like that, or I don't know. It's hard to do. I've done it once. I've done it one time, and it was a special occasion, but it's just hard to make the time and be able to go do consults like that. If y'all are in the chat on Facebook or YouTube, drop questions down below, drop comments down below. Yeah, it's starting to feel like fall this morning. I walked outside to let Duke out, and man, it felt really good. It feels amazing outside, like almost hoodie weather. Almost hoodie weather this morning. Feels really good. I'm excited to get out there and get some stuff done this weekend. With it cooling down, I won't be mowing as often, which would be kind of nice. I've been mowing them, it feels like every weekend lately, and so I'll be able to raise that deck up a little bit and not have to mow as low, mow a little higher, and allow it to grow a little thicker. I'm going to be putting out some fertilizer too. I got some carbo load from Nelson Plant Food. That's, you can put it out any time of year, honestly, but now is like their recommended time. September, October is a really good time to put it out. So we'll be making sure to do some of that maybe this weekend as well. Yeah, it's been an awesome week. Awesome week of work. Getting home, and I've got both Fridays off. I did a swap with my buddy Danny at work to make sure that I'm off this weekend and next weekend on the Friday, because I have Phil's Figs coming in on Thursday. Phil's coming. He's flying in on Thursday evening. I'll go pick him up at the airport, and man, it's gonna be so much fun. I've got him for a couple days, and it's so weird, doing a podcast with someone who's like half the country away, and you're really good buddies with them, and you've never met them in person. It's so strange having relationships like that. I got relationships I got relationships like that with a lot of people, with like Vikram, the plant prof. When I met him for the first time at the Nursery and Landscape Expo, it was so weird because like you've actually never met this person in person, but it's like you've known him for years. It's so strange. But the internet's kind of allowed us to develop those relationships now where you can have people and relationships with people who have common interests like you do, even if they're across the world. A lot. I feel when I talk to people, sometimes even like we mentioned on Wednesday on the garden party that Jeremy, Dirty Punk Gardening, he's in, I think, Toronto, Ohio, and he doesn't have like a gardening community there like we do in Houston. He doesn't have like a lot of friends he can meet up with. So when he comes on the chat, it's like the only time he really gets to interact with people like us, like they have similar interests as him. So it's tough for some people living in like those. People call them food deserts when they don't have availability to good food. I'm gonna call it like garden deserts. Jeremy said he lives in a garden desert. So I think I think having the having the internet and having the availability to communicate with people who have interests, what doesn't matter what your interest is. I think I did miss a button. Oh no, it doesn't look like I missed a button. How did I catch your live this morning? What is going on, G&G? Good morning, everybody. Make sure to give G&G Farms a follow. I met them over there in Alabama, over in Alabama way. Yeah, it feels like fall this morning. Man, thoughts and prayers go out to everybody in Florida and that area of the country right now. I know that a lot of people got hit really hard by that hurricane. It seems like everybody's going to get hit hard this year. It is a hot storm year this year. I don't know what it is. It's insane. But people in Florida, are dealing with it now. It's rough. I mean, I know how bad Beryl was, and it wasn't nearly as bad as this one that hit Florida. So thoughts and prayers out to those people, and hopefully everybody's getting the aid they need. And it's terrible. It's terrible seeing that stuff on the news. I don't particularly watch the news very often, but it is what it is. Yeah, no, I was it was weird at the event. I if I'm being completely honest, I was the kind of the odd person out because I really wasn't like most people at the the Great Fall Garden Festival were like homesteading channels. So for me, being like just like kind of a strictly gardening channel, it was different. I was kind of the outsider, and also I was the only person from Texas. Most people were from Alabama, Georgia, Florida, that area. So I did feel like the odd man out a little bit, but I think the weather kind of really, the weather was so bad that it really put a hindrance on me getting around and talking to other people. I was kind of stuck in my booth off and on with the raining. So, but no, I had a great time. I'm planning on going back to Alabama in the spring. I want to go. Me and my wife are planning a spring break tour. I think in mid-March when she goes. She's a teacher, so she gets a week off, and we're planning on doing a Southern Garden tour. I just finished up the second episode of the Great Alabama Nursery Tour that is chronicling my journey through Alabama and one Louisiana nursery in my trip. So we are planning on doing a whole tour where we go start out here in Texas, going to Louisiana, Mississippi, Mobile area. I don't know if we're going to go that far north. We'll see. But then over into Florida, Pensacola area. My name's Destin, and so I've only been to Destin, Florida one time, and I'd like to go and actually, see the sights. And that's my namesake. My dad was named after Florida because he was conceived in Destin, Florida, and I'm Destin Jr. So I'd like to go see that area a little bit more. And I know it's a nursery heavy area. There's a lot of nurseries in like the Pensacola, and when you get a little further in, there's even more exotic nurseries. So, and we have family over in South Carolina, Columbia, South Carolina, and we have my buddy Phil up in Wilmington, North Carolina. So that's about an hour from there. So we want to make like we want to go across the southern US, go up, and then kind of make our way up like that, like through like the Rocky Mountain or the Appalachians. That'd be kind of cool. And like do it like in a week or like 10 days or something. And then video the whole thing. You know, that was the cool part. That's what really got me through my whole trip. I was by myself. Recording the whole thing was so much fun because I'm going back now, and when I got home, my SIM card was completely full. I had a 256 gig card. Well, I had that plus some time lapse video on another card and everything like that. I had over 3.5 hours of footage coming back from that road trip. 3.5 hours of footage to go through, and it was nuts. It was just crazy. So I'm really excited to get more of those nursery tours out. The one I did last night, the one I edited, will come out probably. I'm gonna see if I can get it out tomorrow or tonight. We'll see. I still gotta add music and everything, but that was such a good time. I was at a place called Collier's, and there were some really cool other nurseries as well. Nick's, was it Nick's Creekside or something's Creek? Andy's Creekside Nursery was cool, and then Myers Plants and Pottery was really cool as well. So I got some really cool stuff to show y'all still. If you follow me on YouTube or Facebook, you'll see some of these videos of the great, I call it the Great Alabama Nursery Tour, named after, you know, the Great Fall Garden Festival that I was going there to see. You know, so it's a whole playlist that I'm creating, and there's probably going to be 6 episodes or so. So no, episode 2 should come out this weekend. But I'm very excited to share all that with y'all, and it was a great journey, and excited to do it again. Excited to go do it again and really get to spend more time and not have to with my wife. Usually my wife is the person behind the camera. If y'all see a video and it's shot really well, it's because my wife was there doing it. So I didn't have my wife with me on this road trip, and so I was doing a lot of it myself, and it was kind of rough. So her around will only make it better. And it'll make for more drama too. Hope everyone's having a great Friday. If you got any fall gardening questions, drop it down below. As I stated earlier, we're gonna be doing some lawn stuff this winter, this fall and winter. We're gonna be doing some stuff like that. I'm going to get the lawn probably fertilized this weekend. I've got the stuff already. I got my spreader. I just need to get out there and get it spread. Oh my goodness, this coffee tastes really good though. That's good coffee. It's my Plant Lady mug. It's got all these plants on it, and on the inside it says Plant Lady. So I'll show you. I don't care. It looks scary, but Plant Lady. I got good vibes this morning. Really good vibes this morning. My new friend Marcus, Garden Marcus. If you don't follow Garden Marcus on YouTube or Instagram or whatever, he is a really cool, kind of like a garden coach or like a life coach. I don't know how you would describe him. He's going to be on the Garden Party podcast next Wednesday with Gardening with Dez. He is a really cool guy, really cool vibes, and I'm very interested to get to know him a little bit better. He'll be on the Garden Party this next week. He just released a new book, and I thought it was a book, but it's actually more of a garden journal. It's like a journal where he asks you questions and you like kind of reply to him. You know, it's kind of different. And maybe I'll show it on Monday. I got it in the other room. I have to find it, but he sent me an advanced copy, and it's really neat. So I've got him coming on the podcast on Wednesday. It's gonna be a lot of fun. We did talk about on this past Wednesday with Josh and Jeremy that we wanted to do a Halloween episode. So we're going to do a Halloween episode of the Garden Party. I'm still trying to lock in who all wants to do it because I want everybody to participate, and some people don't want to do it, obviously, but we're all going to dress up as our favorite gardening content creator. Jeremy already kind of gave his away. He said he's dressing as the Baker Creek Hobo this year. He's got the right build for it too. He's got the right build for it, so he can definitely do the Baker Creek Hobo. that guy, if y'all don't know what I'm talking about the guy Ryan from Baker Creek. Really cool dude. He seems like anyway, and we always gave him crap at the beginning of this, this podcast, the garden party. Uh, and I referred to him as the Baker Creek hobo before I knew him as Ryan from Baker Creek. And I've actually reached out to him a couple times to get him on the podcast, but gotten I've gotten a response, but not from him. I gotten response from some other people that run the social media for Baker Creek. So hopefully we'll hear from him eventually. But I just want him to know that we're not making fun of him. We enjoy his content. Obviously it's working. So would never hate on him for what he does or how he dresses or anything like that. It's funny. It's cool to watch. And he gets really good engagement. So he's doing something right. And Baker Creek is well known for their awesome seed varieties and good stuff like that. So hope everyone's having a beautiful, beautiful Friday. Oh my goodness. Coffee is good this morning. I was in a huge rush this morning. I woke up at 6 when my wife went to work, and I stayed up late last night till probably about 11:30 midnight, and I was editing video. And I've been doing that all week almost. I want to say I go to work. I work my 7 to 5, and then I come home and I pretty much start filming. Until the sun goes down, and then I come to edit. So like that's my life right now. Hey, good morning, TC. Good morning. Yeah, I pretty much wake up and I pretty much go to work, come home, video, make videos and edit. And here lately I've been staying up a little too late. So I think this morning my sleep got caught up on, I caught up on a little bit of extra sleep. It's been kind of busy lately. I don't know. I kind of burned myself out in the early spring, like not early spring, but I started in February. I was like, I'm gonna go hard on content this year. And man, I got a little bit burnt out, but I think it was the heat. It was the heat that burned me out. It got hot quick here in Texas. So now it's cooled down. It's like, ooh, let's get outside. Let's do stuff. And it's really nice. And if you don't know this, I mean, God, the fall is the best time to actually do gardening. A lot of the stuff you're trying to grow in the winter time or in the spring and summer that don't like the heat will grow really, really well right now. Stuff like your herbs. If you had issues growing herbs in the spring and summer, man, right now is the time to grow the herbs. I mean, you can grow them now, trim them, dry them out, store them, all that good stuff. Man, I'm looking forward to doing some more squash. I've got squash planted. I'm gonna plant some more squash. I'm planning on doing some carrots. I'm planning on doing some radishes. I just planted some garlic. Let's see. I ordered $120 worth of garlic of different varieties, and I'm waiting for it to come in. But I want to go hard on garlic because I have some beds. I had one bed in particular that went totally unused this year. I didn't use it at all. It's in a weird spot. I kind of just left it alone, let it do its thing. 2 beds actually that I did that with. And so I was like, these would be perfect beds for like long-term stuff like garlic or onions or whatever, So that's my goal with that bed this year. I'm gonna plant a bunch of garlic. I ordered I think 4 or 5 different varieties of garlic. Most of them are soft neck. Here in the Texas area, we usually grow soft neck garlic, but I did get some hard neck varieties as well. Even the elephant garlic, I believe, is a hard neck variety, which is more cold tolerant. And now that we're getting colder and colder winters, it makes sense to try a hard neck variety, So I don't know. They're a little bit different. I'll have to do more research into the varieties that I got and kind of go in depth. And I'll probably do a full video on planting garlic. Someone asked me in the chat yesterday or it was a comment on one of the videos, and they asked me, what do I plan to do? What is the use for elephant garlic? And I said, well, it attracts elephants and it deters vampires. And I thought it was pretty funny. No, elephant garlic, the cloves. I mean, good Lord, the cloves are huge. I mean, the cloves, if y'all didn't see them in the picture, are every bit of like 3 inches big. It's like an egg, almost like an egg size for the garlic cloves. And the actual garlic husk will get, like big as a tomato. And so I did them in those. I did them in the smart pots. I did them in the smart, like the fabric smart pots. I figured they'd be really good for drainage. They're really good for drainage, and I've got a couple of them, so I wanted to be able to use them. And not growing garlic like that before, growing them in the container is probably optimal because I don't really know if they need like full sun right now. Like it's cool outside, so they can probably handle full sun. But like here in Texas, I mean, it could be cool right now, and it could be 100 degrees next week. You never really know. Last year, it was like 40 degrees on Thanksgiving, and then it was like 85, 90 degrees on Christmas. Like it was the weirdest thing. It was so funny. We always have Thanksgiving Christmas at my dad's house, and he built his house into the side of a barn, and so his actual house is kind of small, but he has a shop area that he cleans up, and that's where we have dinner and do activities and stuff. Everybody hangs out. Well, it was super cold on Thanksgiving, and all he had was one of those propane heaters on a stand, and so we were all huddled around that. And so then for Christmas, he bought an extra one or maybe two extras, and we didn't even need them. It was hot, so like it's so Texas weather. Hey, Duke, that dog is hanging out, buddy. What's going on, buddy? Hi. I'm gonna be needing some breakfast soon. I don't know what I want for breakfast. Oh, coffee is going down smooth this morning now. I've kind of been drinking more iced coffee lately. I don't know. I don't know if I'm an iced coffee man yet or what. I usually don't drink coffee unless it's like cold outside, especially when it's hot. But since I've been in an office, I kind of switched over to iced coffee, and it's from what they say, I think iced coffee actually has more caffeine. Is that what it is? Have a good one, G&G. Yeah, G&G was talking about they're in Alabama, and they're talking about they're going to go plant some fruit trees. Now is the perfect time to be planting fruit trees. Now is the perfect time. If you got apples or pears, peaches, whatever, now is the time to go plant them. Even shade trees, whatever you want to do. Because most trees, most people buy like trees in the spring, and they go plant them, and they have so success, which is great. It's also it's a good option if you need to plant them then. But the best time in the Texas area, in my area, and most of the South, is to plant them in the fall, because trees will have a really hard time in the spring going into the summer where it's the super hot months, developing those roots, building a really nice root system. If you plant them in the fall going into winter, then they have spring and summer. You have a better success rate typically because they're going to be a lot less likely to be damaged by the cold than they are the heat. Typically, our winters are a little bit wetter. You're not going to have to water as often, not going to be as much stress on the plant, and it's really nice. So I highly recommend, if you're going to be buying some trees, any kind of tree, get them this fall. And then typically most nurseries are not wanting to hold their, stock from this year over winter. You got to think about it. If you're a nursery, your greenhouse is real estate. Every inch of that place is real estate. And the inside the greenhouse is even more expensive because you got to heat that stuff all winter. So this fall, go out and look, and usually there will be sales on certain trees, certain plants, because they don't want to storm over winter. And plus, they want to get new stock and new inventory in the spring. So now is a perfect time to go buy a lot of stuff, especially if you can overwinter like in your garage. I'm talking about tropicals, like hibiscuses and, plumerias and stuff like that. If you can overwinter them and you'll have them in the spring, you probably get them close to half off. So that's my 2 cents on that. I highly encourage, there's a lot of fall festivals and stuff. What I've seen a lot lately that I didn't think was when I was going around doing these nursery tours, and I see it now, is a lot of people have kalanchos as fall plants. And I think it's just the color. I think it's the actual not kalanchos, crotons. Crotons. A lot of people have crotons out as fall plants. Crotons are really cool. I had never had any until I actually bought some on clearance. I think at HEB. I bought a bunch of like there's a bunch of different varieties of them. They're really cool. Orange, red, green, yellow, any kind of color you could think of and any kind of variety. They call them crotons. I actually overwintered mine in the greenhouse and they've been thriving all spring and summer long. They're really cool. And so now I've got them and I can set them out. I've kind of had them under a shade cloth, but they've been doing really, really well. So if you got crotons, don't think that they're annuals. You can keep them in pots and you can put them in like a shady spot when it's really hot and put them out when it starts to cool down, in full sun. So I love crotons. They're so cool. I'd never really bought them before until I found them on clearance. But once I found them, I was like, oh, these are nice. I could go for some more crotons. Plus, they sound like croutons. I love croutons. Oh my goodness. Coffee is good this morning. If you have any gardening questions, fall gardening questions, or anything like that, drop it down below in the chat. I got a missed call. I had someone ask us about Figtoberfest. They said they were driving in and they asked about an itinerary. I will probably get with Kimberly this morning and see if we can develop some kind of itinerary. We have a rough one. But I mean, we're basically going to start at 8 a.m. and go to 1 p.m. There will be a lot of speakers throughout the day between me, Phil, which I think we're going to do a little bit of a talk, but not like so formal. I kind of told them I just wanted to be like the master of ceremony so I can be able to walk around and talk to people and hang out. But one thing you do need to know is if you're going to come to the event, make sure to bring a lawn chair. We're not providing chairs. So if you're going to come, bring a lawn chair, bring a blanket to sit on, whatever you want to do. Kids are welcome. Dogs are welcome. It's going to be such a fun time at Figtoberfest. That's next Saturday, October 5th from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's going to be awesome. We've got Fig Brew is shipping out some fig coffee to us this morning. Fig coffee is actually dried, roasted, and grinded figs. And it is actually a coffee alternative. And it's a coffee alternative. It's not caffeinated. The way they explain it to me, and it makes a lot of sense, right? You can drink. Oh, shoot. Almost knocked my microphone over. The way they explained it to me was really cool. So to make a cup of coffee, it takes so many trees to make, all the coffee in the world. I think they said like to make a bag of coffee, it takes like an entire tree of beans. And figs are a super, if you've ever grown figs, you can grow more figs than you could possibly eat or harvest. And so figs are way more renewable than coffee. So you can drink their fig brew all by itself and it tastes delicious. It's just not caffeinated. But what they recommend you do is they say do a 50-50 mix. So like what I usually do is I take a cup of coffee and a cup of fig brew and I mix them together. And it is really good. Whatever flavored coffee, whatever, if you've got like some expensive coffee, you can buy a little bit more expensive coffee and cut it in half with that figgy. And it tastes really good. I would recommend trying the figgy by itself first. And then you going with that figgy because it tastes really, really good. And they even sell a 50-50 blend of, they call it the mellow mix. And it's really good stuff. But we will have their stuff there for people to try. We'll have a bunch of coffee there, a bunch of fig brew coffee there for everybody to try. We'll also have some food trucks. I think there's going to be an actual coffee food truck as well, which is going to be cool. So there'll be a lot of cool stuff. But we're going to have, what is going on, Broke Farmer? Good morning. Hey, Brenda, good morning. We're also going to have a bunch of fig trees to give away. We've got the Sun Grove. They are a online fruit tree seller out of Florida, and they're sending us some fig varieties to sell, or just not to sell, to give away for like the raffle. There will be a raffle, so you got to stay until at least we do the raffle to get your gift. You must be present to win. We've got a basket from Fig Brew to give away. I think 1 or 2 baskets to give away. We've got fig trees to give away. We've got a bunch of giveaway stuff. I got some of my fig trees I'm probably going to give away. I got a bunch of brown turkey figs I'm going to bring just so like people can get a bulletproof tree. If brown turkey, Celeste, can't go wrong with those. So I want people to have varieties that they're going to do really well with. And we're also going to have a bunch of cuttings shipped in from California from David Burke, the fig hunter. He's sending in a bunch of fig cuttings. He was going to be coming, but he got caught up on a turnaround at work, so he won't be able to make it. He had already bought his tickets and everything, which is such a bummer. But him and his wife were going to come, and it was going to be so much fun. But they won't be able to make it, so they're sending a bunch of cuttings. I'm going this morning to get soil. Heirloom Soils is providing all the soil. They have a really super good, super awesome, high quality propagation mix called the Works that I like to use for like my propagations. It's like the Cadillac of soils. I mean, it is really, really good stuff. I'm gonna get an entire truckload. I'm gonna get as many bags as I can fit in the back of my truck. Luis Tremaro from Heirloom Soils. Shout out to y'all, man. Y'all are awesome. So I'll be going to Porter to get them, but they are available at like Ace Hardwares and stuff like that. You can find them. Man, the city of Angleton actually donated a brand new park pavilion area for us to use. We were going to do this at the Ag Center event over there at Angleton, but we had over like 200 people RSVP on the original site. We had like 200 people sign up, and we're like, okay, we're going to need a bigger venue. We're going to need a bigger venue because I think they could fit 50 people inside. And we were worried, because here in Houston in October, it can still be hot outside. So we wanted to have like a covered area. So we got a nice pavilion. It's called Lakeside Park over in Angleton, Texas. It's 1234 Enchanted Drive. I got the flyer right here. I'll pop it up. It is one. If you go on my Facebook, you'll see it, but it's mirrored too. So it's 1234 Enchanted Oaks Drive, Angleton, Texas 77515. Phil's Figs is going to be there. Heirloom Soils is donating all the soil for the propagations. We'll have people pretty much all day long showing people how to propagate. That's going to be so much fun. We're making live streaming for some people who can't make it. We want to make sure to live stream quite a bit of it so that we can make sure everybody is included. What's the address again? Yes. So it is 1234 Angleton. Oh, sorry, 1234 Enchanted Oaks Drive, Angleton, Texas. I'm just going to pull the flyer up real quick. I'll pull the flyer up. I'm going to pull the flyer up. I'm going to pull the flyer up. I can't believe it's next weekend. We have been preparing for this for so long now. It feels like we started preparing for this in March. Let's see. I will show y'all the flyer right now. There you go. So it is, see the flyer? So it's the first annual Figtoberfest. 1234 Enchanted Oaks Drive, Angleton, Texas 77515. It's the first annual Figtoberfest. If you look up Lakeside Park, you should be able to find it. But it's a totally free event, totally free event. It's going to be so much fun. I'm really looking forward to this. We've been planning this for a long time. A lot of people have been involved with planning this. Phil has been around since day one on this. Kimberly Mayer from AgriLife over there in Angleton. She is my local ag extension agent. She is so awesome. We've got Stephen Yannick and lots of people. There's going to be some really good speakers there that are with AgriLife. I like to get the experts involved when we're doing stuff like this. So thank you so much for the AgriLife for really, really helping us out with this. If you're, I get a lot of questions from people asking about, what should I be planting in my area right now? What should I be doing this? What's the best variety for this? Those are the people you want to talk to. So what your tax money goes to pay for ag extensions and like public universities and stuff. That's where you get your money back on the stuff like this, because your local ag extension agent. I think even it's not just Texas. This is all over. You can basically type in your zip code, find out your ag extension agent, your county agent, and you can reach out to them. And usually they have like entire calendars, that show you like, hey, what do I plant this time of year? What's the best variety tree? I mean, I can go here. Let's see. I can type it in my area. Let's see. Let's see. I'll type it in right now and see if I can find my calendar. So I'm going to type in Missouri County Ag extension. I'll pop it up right here. But they have like really cool stuff. They can show you. It'll tell you like what to plant and when to plant. One second, I'm just trying to find it. I always talk about this, and I gotta show it now. Let's see. Horticulture tab. All right, I'm gonna show it right here. So this is my county. This is my county. This is under the horticulture app. So if you go to Texas A&M AgriLife and you put in like your county, this is Missouri County. I went to horticulture. If you go to vegetable varieties for Missouri County, so this is the one. So these are the recommended vegetable varieties for my county. You know, and it talks about types of artichokes, types of corn, types of cucumbers, everything you think of. It's got a list. It tells you all this cool stuff. And we can go back, and it'll even tell you, even some recommended nurseries and feed stores to buy certain things. Plant spring and fall planting guide. So this is what's really cool, right? This is for our area. This tells you right here, and this is free for everybody. This is free. This is totally free. Well, it's not free to you. It's your taxes go to this. So, you need to be taking advantage of this. But look at this right here. This is my county. It tells me when I should be transplanting. This is it's the garden planting dates, and these are. So this is for spring. This is for the spring right here. It tells you what to plant, when to plant it. And this is for the fall. Right there. It's right there. That's all you need. That's everything you need. I'm actually going to download this. I'm going to put this on my calendar. I'm going to put this on my fridge. See, and everybody has this. You have this. You can even, send in soil tests. You testing stuff. If you're concerned about like the acidity or whatever of your soil. They have a fruit guide. So it's 2024 County Fruit and Citrus Tree Guide. This is right here, Kimberly Mayer. Let's see. So this is free recommendations. This is the fruit tree recommendations that they hand out. What's the link to that main page? Yeah, let me pull this up. So this is for my county. This is for Missouri County, but your county in Texas and probably wherever you're at has this. This is for my county right here. But like I said, they even have recommendations on which fruit trees to plant. Where was I? They even have a Missouri County lawn schedule. That's really awesome. I didn't know they had this. See, I'm finding stuff I didn't even know about. This is really awesome. And this is available to everybody. And they would tell you the brands. That's cool. I'm going to download this as well. And this is free. Well, I said it's not free because your taxes pay for this, But take advantage of what you got, They've even got, let's see, freeze protection for citrus. That's a download. Let's see what else. Insects and diseases. So if there's any common diseases that are hitting the area, they're even going to talk about this. Oak leaves. This is a big one here in Texas right now. The oak leaf diseases, the oak wilt, and the oak blister. That's nuts. Oh, speaking of that, we have confirmed. We have confirmed that Dr. Ong is going to be there. Dr. Ong's been on the podcast before. The garden party. He is the head of the Texas Plant Clinic and up there in College Station. They're really cool people. Him and Hannah, I believe, are going to be here for that next week. Really cool. So if you have like any questions about, if you got like a tree that's dying or you got a spot in your lawn that looks terrible, you can bring like a sample up there and, try to explain to them what's going on, and they might have an answer for you. But they also have a way you can send in samples. Like when I was there, they had a bunch of oak tree. Was it oak tree wilts? Is that what it's called? Oak wilt. They had a bunch of samples they were analyzing, and it was really cool to see how they did it. And they actually do a part. They do a lot with Texas Department of Agriculture as well. So really cool people to talk to, especially if you're having some kind of issues in your garden or in your orchard or your home. Really cool people to talk to. Really cool. Really cool. Yeah, I'm glad I went and looked at that. I haven't. I didn't actually. I've never actually gone into the depth, and looked at all that stuff. I knew it was there, but I didn't know. I didn't know how in depth they went, like with certain things. So shout out to Kimberly. I'm gonna give her a shout out today. Yeah, I kind of did, but shout out to Kimberly for putting all this stuff together. Hey, Duke, my dog is chilling this morning. Mm. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think I'm gonna hop off just a little bit early so I can get dressed. I gotta head out here shortly. Exactly, Tiffany. Exactly. Yeah, and Edward, you definitely want to try to find your specific county because they are going to be specific county to county. Some counties may be a little similar, but most counties are going to be a little bit different. So I'm going to hop off and get ready, maybe start a load of laundry before I leave. But hope everyone has a really great day. It's going to be an awesome weekend. Be on the lookout. If you don't already, go follow me on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff for the nursery tour that we're doing. I'm doing a series of nursery tours they're chronicling my road trip to Alabama. And so make sure to go follow me on YouTube and you'll see a playlist of the Great Alabama Fall, or the Great Alabama Nursery Tour. That's what I'm calling it. It's going to be an awesome. I got probably 6 or 7 videos that I'm going to be making into those, and we'll have another one probably drop maybe tomorrow. So, well, but I really hope y'all enjoyed the stream. I sure did. Happy Friday, man. I'm ready for it to be about 5 o'clock. All right, y'all. I will holler at y'all later on. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend.